The great hall of the Galactic Council was silent. Tall alien leaders sat in a wide circle, their eyes fixed on a single human figure standing in the center. Humanity had been called to answer for its existence. No weapons were raised. No war had been declared. Yet the air felt heavy, full of judgment. The council speaker spoke at last. Humanity is unstable, it said. Too fast. Too ambitious. Too dangerous. Humans had explored space faster than any race before them. They learned quickly. They adapted faster. And that frightened the galaxy. The human representative did not shout. He did not beg. He only listened. One by one, alien races voted. Some feared humans. Some envied them. Others simply followed the strongest voices in the room. The result was clear. Humanity was exiled. No second chances. No shared worlds. No place in known space. A soft sound echoed to the hall as the final decision was sealed. Humans will leave the galaxy, the speaker said. You will never return. Still, the humans stood calm. Around the hall, some aliens expected anger. Others expected fear. They saw neither. Instead, the human looked up slowly. His eyes were steady. You believe exile will break us, he said quietly. You believe we will fade into darkness. He paused. You are wrong. The guards moved forward. But the human turned and walked away on his own. Behind him, the council felt a strange unease. Something they could not explain. Far from the council world, human fleets gathered. Families boarded ships. Scientists, soldiers, builders, all united by one truth. They had lost their home, but they had not lost their will. As the last human ships left known space, a single thought spread among them all. If the galaxy had no place for humanity, then humanity would find its own path, and whatever waited in the darkness would soon learn what exile had created. The human fleets moved forward into the dark. Behind them was known space, filled with laws, borders, and alien worlds that no longer wanted them. Ahead was only silence. No maps. No signals. No help. This region was marked as dead space by the Galactic Council. Ships that entered never returned. But humans did not turn back. Inside the fleets, fear was real, but it did not control them. Engineers worked day and night to keep old ships running. Scientists studied strange stars and unstable systems. Soldiers trained, even though no enemy could be seen. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Resources grew low. Some ships failed. Some were lost forever in the darkness. Each loss hurt, but each loss also made the survivors stronger. Then one day, everything changed. A scout ship detected a strange signal. Not natural, not random. It was old, very old. The fleet followed it to a broken star system. There, drifting in silence, were massive structures, ancient stations, half destroyed, older than any known civilization. Humans were careful. They did not rush in. Teams entered the ruins slowly. Inside, they found technology far beyond anything the Council had ever shared. Power cores that never failed. Armor that repaired itself. Weapons that did not need fuel. And something else. Records. They spoke of a forgotten race. A race that had also been feared. A race that had been pushed away by the galaxy and erased. The message was clear. The galaxy had done this before. Human leaders understood the truth at once. Exile was not punishment. It was prevention. The Council feared what humanity could become. As the fleets rebuilt using ancient knowledge, human ships changed. They became stronger, faster, smarter, far away. In the safety of known space, the Galactic Council felt calm. They believed humanity was gone. They were wrong, because in the darkness beyond the stars, humanity was not dying. Humanity was preparing. Time passed differently in the dark regions beyond the galaxy. For humanity, exile was no longer a wound. It had become a reason. The ancient technology did not control humans. Humans controlled it. They studied it slowly, carefully, and then improved it. Human engineers mixed old alien designs with human creativity. The result was something new, something the galaxy had never seen. Ships grew larger, but also faster. Shields adapted during battle. Weapons learned from every shot fired. Artificial intelligence did not rule humans. It served them. More important than technology was unity. There were no nations anymore, no borders, only humanity. Children were trained from a young age, not just to fight, but to think, to adapt, to survive. Scientists worked beside soldiers. Builders trained with pilots. Every human had a purpose, and humanity grew stronger together. Far away, in known space, strange stories began to spread. Trade ships vanished near the outer edges. Long-range sensors picked up unknown signals, then went silent. Patrol fleets reported shadows moving between stars. The Galactic Council dismissed the rumors. Dead space is unstable, they said. Nothing lives there. But some council members felt uneasy. Then it happened. A small council scout ship crossed too far into the dark. It never sent a warning. It never asked for help. It simply disappeared. No wreckage was found. No survivors returned. Inside the human command fleet, silence filled the control rooms. The decision had been made without debate. Humanity would no longer hide, but they would not rush. Human leaders watched the galaxy carefully. They learned its weaknesses, its politics, its fear. They remembered how easily the Council had turned against them. Humanity did not want revenge. They wanted security. They wanted control of their future. And control required strength. As the first fully rebuilt human war fleet powered up, a quiet message spread across human space. The galaxy will see us again. Not as refugees, not as victims, but as something far greater. And when humanity returned to the stars, the galaxy would finally understand the true cost of exile. The first warning came too late. On the edge of known space, a quiet alien outpost detected something impossible. Dozens of massive objects were moving toward the system. They did not match any known design. Their energy signals changed constantly, as if they were alive. Before the outpost could send a full report, its sensors went dark. No explosion. No chaos. Only silence. Moments later, human ships entered the system. They were nothing like before. Their hulls were dark and smooth, shaped for speed and power. Their engines burned with control force. Every movement was precise, calm, confident. The human fleet did not attack nearby colonies. They did not threaten civilians. They simply moved forward. Alien defense fleets rushed to respond. They outnumbered the humans. They had more ships, more experience. It did not matter. Human shields adapted to every weapon used against them. Human weapons struck with perfect accuracy. Enemy ships lost power, control, and communication within seconds. The battle ended quickly. Survivors watched in fear as human ships stopped firing the moment resistance ended. No pursuit, no destruction, only dominance. Across the galaxy, panic spread. Old enemies called for alliances. Neutral worlds locked their borders. The Galactic Council gathered in emergency session. They were supposed to be gone, one leader whispered. Humanity sent its first message in decades. It was not a threat. It was a statement. We were exiled without war, the message said. We return without hate, but we will never be controlled again. The Council tried to respond, tried to speak. Humanity did not wait. Fleet after fleet appeared near key systems. Trade routes fell under human watch. Military bases powered down without a fight. The galaxy realized a terrible truth. Humanity was not attacking to destroy. They were taking position. And for the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council felt something it had never felt before. Fear, because exile had not weakened humanity. It had focused them. The Galactic Council was breaking. Emergency meetings never ended. Old allies argued. Powerful races blamed each other. Systems that once obeyed the Council now ignored its orders. Human fleets did not rush forward. They waited. That waiting was worse than attack. Trade routes were blocked, but not destroyed. Military stations were surrounded, but not fired upon. Humanity controlled movement, information, and time itself. Some alien worlds surrendered peacefully. They remembered how humans had once tried to cooperate. Humanity accepted them without punishment. Others resisted. Those who resisted lost their fleets in minutes. Human weapons disabled, not destroyed. Power grids shut down. Command centers went silent. Humanity showed the galaxy something new. Control without chaos. Inside the council chamber, fear ruled. The same leaders who had voted for exile now begged for talks. They sent messages asking for peace, for compromise, for forgiveness. Humanity finally answered. A single human ship arrived above the council world. It did not fire. It did not threaten. It simply waited. The council invited human leaders to speak. The human representative stood in the same position as before years ago. This time, the room felt different. Smaller, weaker. "We did not come for revenge," the human said calmly. "We came because the galaxy needs balance." He reminded them of their vote, of how fear had guided their choice, of how exile had forced humanity to become stronger. "You feared what we might become," he said, "so you pushed us away." The council tried to vote again. The system failed. No lights, no signals, no power. The human voice echoed in the dark chamber. "Your time of control is over." Outside, human fleets moved into position around the council world. The galaxy watched. The age of the Galactic Council was ending, and humanity was about to decide what would replace it. The galaxy waited for destruction. Many believed humanity would burn the council world. Others expected revenge for years of exile. Weapons were ready. Evacuation plans were prepared. None of it happened. Human fleets held their positions. No cities were attacked. No worlds were broken. Instead, humanity spoke again. "This era ends today," the message said. "Not with fire, but with change." Human forces entered the council world peacefully. The old leaders were removed from power, not harmed. Their systems were secured. Their weapons were locked down. Across the galaxy, new rules were announced. No race would rule alone again. No voice would be ignored because of fear. Power would no longer belong to those who shouted the loudest. Humanity did not call itself rulers. They called themselves guardians. Trade routes reopened under human protection. Borders became fair. Smaller worlds were defended instead of exploited. Those who had once feared humans now depended on them. The galaxy slowly understood the truth. Humanity had never wanted conquest. They wanted safety, respect, a future where no species would be exiled simply for being strong. Children across many worlds learned a new history, not of wars, but of a choice. The choice the Galactic Council had made, and the cost of that fear. In human space, the story was told simply. Exile had taken their home, but exile had also given them purpose. They had been pushed into the dark and had returned stronger, not as monsters, not as destroyers, but as the galaxy's greatest conquerors of fear itself. And from that day on, whenever a race faced judgment, one truth was remembered. Never exile humanity, because humanity does not fade. Humanity rises.